Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss one problem on influence line diagram where the set of rolling loads is traversing a beam, traversing a simply supported beam. As you can see over here, this set of rolling load is traversing this beam, which is simply supported at support A and B, right? And we need to find what is the maximum moment will generate at point P when this moving load will traverse this simply supported beam. Okay, so we need to find basically what is the maximum moment will generate at P, right? And remember that this maximum moment which we are calculating is not the absolute maximum moment. Okay, what I meant by that is that if someone is supposed for which moment you want the beam will, what will be the designing moment for the beam, you cannot say that this moment will be the designing moment for the beam. Okay, this is not the absolute maximum moment. This is basically a local maximum moment, you can say, right? So let us come to this problem over here. Now we need to find the maximum moment at point P, right? So first of all, let us draw the influence line diagram when the unit load will traverse this beam. Okay, and the dimension the dimension of the beam is nothing but this is 6 meter, and this is, I think I need to check this. This is 6 meter. Okay, this is 6 meter and this is 4 meter, right? So and we need to calculate what is the maximum moment will generate at P. So first we will draw the ILD due to unit load when the unit load will traverse this along this beam. Okay, this thing we have already discussed in detail. Okay, so the maximum ordinate at P when the unit load will traverse this beam is nothing but will be AB by L. Okay, so which is nothing but 6 into 4 upon my L. L is what? Total length of the beam. 6 is this A portion. Okay, and 4 is this B portion. So this is nothing but this is 2.4 value. Okay, now you can see that the distance between our loads is 2 meter. So what I will do over here, I'll find coordinates at a distance of 2 meter from this support. Okay, from this center, from this point P, right? So at a distance of 2 meter, then again at a distance of 2 meter. Okay, again at a distance of 2 meter, and again at a distance of 2 meter. Okay, so I need to find these ordinates basically, because the interval between the loads, the spacing between the loads is 2 meter. Okay, that's why we are finding the loads, finding the ordinate at 2 meter, right? At a spacing of 2 meters. Okay, so now first we'll calculate the spacing of this ordinate of this. First we'll calculate this ordinate. Okay, and the value of which you can find with the help of similar triangles, right? This distance is 6 meter. Okay, so up to here it is 4. So you can write 2.4 over my 6 equals to x upon my x over my 4. Okay, so this is nothing but 2.4 into 4 over my 6, and the value of which will be 1.6. Okay, so this ordinate is nothing but this is 1.6, right? Similarly, if you consider the similar triangle for this portion, again this distance is nothing but this is 2 meter. Okay, so you can write 2.6 over my 2.4 over my 6 is nothing but x equals to 2, right? So this is nothing but this is 0.8. Okay, now we'll find the coordinate at this position again at 2 meter distance. So this is nothing but 2 by 4 divided by 4. This length is, total length is 4 meter, and equals to x over my 2, right? So this distance will become, this ordinate will become 1.2, right? This ordinate will become 1.2. Okay, so you can see that we have calculated the ordinates. Okay, now guys, so we have calculated the ordinate. For this influence line diagram for unit load. Now we already know that in case of the point loads, when we have to find the maximum bending moment at a particular point P, then the point load should lie at that point. Okay. So I have two point load over here. This is 160 kilonewton and other is 40 kilonewtons. So we will check for both the cases. At first, we'll keep the load 40 kilonewton at this position, and then we'll see how much the bending moment we are getting. Then we'll keep this 60 kilonewton at this location, okay, and we'll see what bending moment value we are getting, okay, because these two cases are only the critical case, okay, because why? Because these are the most heaviest load, okay. So at point P, if we want to have maximum moment, so we need to have some maximum loads, okay. We need to have some maximum loads. So here this is 60 and 40, right? 60 kilonewton is a heavy load, but it is not very high as compared to this load, okay. So we need to check both the cases, okay, right, because its value also depends upon the ordinates of this ordinate, which comes under 20 kilonewton and 30 kilonewton, right. So we'll see both the cases over here. So now this is the beam and this is the point P, okay. So I am assuming, let us suppose the point, this is 40 kilonewton load acting over here, okay, at a distance of 2 meter, again 60 kilonewton load, and here again 30 kilonewton load, right, and at a distance of 2 meter, again here the 20 kilonewton load is acting, okay. So what I need to find is that we need to calculate the ordinates which we have already calculated, okay. We'll simply put the value over here. So this is our influence line diagram for unit load. This ordinate is coming 1.6, here the value is 0.8, and here the value is nothing but 1.2, and at the center the maximum value is 2.4, okay. Now to calculate the maximum moment, we need to multiply these loads with their corresponding ordinates, okay. So for MP value, first we'll have 40 into 2.4, right, then we will have 20 into 1.2 plus 60 into 1.6 and plus 30 into 0.8, okay. This is for the case first. Case first is when the 40 kilonewton load is acting at point P, right. So if I calculate this value, so this value comes out to be 240 kilonewton meter, right. So the maximum value which we are getting when the 40 kilonewton load is acting at the point P is nothing but 240 kilonewton. Now for the case 2, when 60 kilonewton load acting at point P, okay. Now we'll see that different case when the 60 kilonewton load is acting at point P. So this is the simply supported beam. This is the point P. Okay. So here now I am assuming 60 kilonewton load is acting at this point. So at a distance of 2 meter, 30 kilonewton load will act. Okay. At a distance of 2 meter, 40 kilonewton load, and at here 20 kilonewton load. Right. Again, the influence line diagram for the unit load will be this value is nothing but 2.4, this value is 1.6, and here the value is 1.2, and here the value is 0. Okay, so when the 60 kilonewton load is acting at point P, so the MP will be 60 into 2.4, right, plus 30 into 1.6 plus 40 into 1.2 and plus 20 into 0, because at this point the coordinate of the influence line diagram is 0, so that's why 20 into 0. So if again we'll calculate this value over here, so 60 into 2.4 plus 30 into 1.6 plus 40 into 1.2 plus 20 into 0. Okay, so again this value comes out to be 240 kilonewton meter. 240 kilonewton meter. So in this case, in this problem, there are two cases where you can get the maximum value of MP. Okay, at first case, when the load is 40 kilonewton load is exactly when the 40 kilonewton load is acting at a point P, and for the case 2 when the 60 kilonewton load is acting at point P. So in both the cases you are getting the maximum value. So both are our critical cases. Okay, so problem is not finished here. Okay, so we'll discuss one more thing in this problem. Okay, now let us suppose this is the ILD of our of due to unit load. Okay, so if I calculate the slope θ1 and θ2 at these two ends, okay, θ1 value will be is nothing but 2.4 divided by 6. Okay, 2.4 divided by 6 meter. So that value will be is nothing but 0.4. Okay, so θ1 is 0.4. Right. Similarly, if we calculate θ2 will be 2.4 divided by 4. Okay, this perpendicular upon my base. So its value comes out to be 0.6. So θ2 will be 0.6. Okay, this thing should be clear. Okay, now let us suppose our previous condition. Okay, where we have assumed that 40 kilonewton load is acting at a point 4, 60 kilonewton load and then 30 kilonewton load, and here 20 kilonewton load is acting. And this was our influence line diagram. This is our point P, right? Now, one thing I can say over here, let us suppose if this load, 60 kilonewton load, moves by 1 meter to the left, 1 meter to the left. Okay. Similarly, this 30 kilonewton will also move to the right, 1 meter to the right. Okay. And similarly, this 40 kilonewton load will move 1 meter from the point P. And similarly, 20 kilonewton load will also move 1 meter from this point. Okay. Right? So, what I want to tell is that when this 60 kilonewton load is moved by 1 meter, when let us suppose initially the ordinate value initially the ordinate for 60 kilonewton load, when it is acting at a distance of 2 meter, it was we have already calculated this thing. This is 1.6. Okay, this value was 1.6. Right? When it is moved by 1 meter. When it is moved by 1 meter, then the ordinate, when it is moved by 1 meter, at that point, we need to calculate the ordinate. Okay. So the ordinate, if we calculate over here, this θ1 is 0.4, right? So if I calculate, this is our θ1. So this θ1 is 0.4 and this ordinate will become, this distance will become 5 meter. Okay, initially it was 4 meter, now it becomes 5 meter. Okay, so if θ1 is equals to 0.4, then this ordinate, I am denoting by this ordinate equals to y1 dash. It is equals to 0.4 into 5. So the value comes out to be nothing but 2. Okay. So when the 60 kilonewton load moves by 1 meter, so this ordinate value is nothing but 2. Okay. Similarly, when this 30 kilonewton load moves by 1 meter in this direction, this is our new ordinate. Okay. And this distance is nothing but, this is 2, this is 2. Okay. So if theta 1 is again, so and this is, let us suppose this is y2 dash. So y2 dash will be nothing but 0.4 into this 30 kilonewton load is moved by 1 meter. So 20, this distance will become 3 meters. Okay, it is 3. So this will be 1.2 meter. So this is nothing but 1.2 meter. Okay. Now, when this 40 kilonewton load is moved by 1 meter, and this theta 2 here is nothing but 0.6. Okay. So this ordinate at a distance of 3 meter will be, let us denote by y3 dash, 0.6 into 3. So its value comes out to be 1.8. So this value comes out to be 1.8. Okay, and if this moves by 1 meter, this again will move by 1 meter. So this value will become, this is for 20 kilonewton load, and this distance is 1 meter from here. So its value will be 0.6. Okay. So now we can see that over here, when this load is moving by shifting by 1 meter, okay, when P load is acting at point P, now it is moved to the right by 1 meter, then all the rolling loads will move to the right by 1 meter, because this is a complete unit, a complete joint system. Okay, so when this thing is happening, for this portion our moment will increase, and for this portion our moment will decrease. Why? Because at this portion you can see that the ordinates are decreasing, okay, and here the ordinates are increasing. So increase in bending moment at P will be nothing but 30 into, initial coordinate was 1.6. Okay, at this, okay, here it is 0.8 for original condition. This was 0.8. So I can write it like this: 1.2 minus of 0.8. Okay, this is our initial condition now. This is okay. So this is the condition. This is the condition, initial condition when 40 kilonewton load is acting. Okay. So now what will be the increase? 30 into, initially our coordinate what here was 0.8. Now it is increases to 1.2. So the increase will be 30 into 1.2 minus 0.8 plus 60 into, at 60 initial coordinate was 1.6. Now it is 2. So 2 minus of 1.6. Right. So this value comes out to be, this is nothing but increase in moment. Okay. So this value comes out to be 36 kilonewton meter. Right. Now if I calculate the decrease in value, the decrease will be from this side. Okay. So initially delta M decrease in MP from this side will be 40 into, initially 40 under the 40 load the ordinate was 2.4. So it will be 2.4 minus of 1.8 plus 20 into, initially the ordinate was 1.2, now it is 0.6. 1.2 minus of 0.6. Right. So this value comes out to be 36. Okay, so again this value comes out to be of 36 kilonewton meter. Now you can see that 36 kilometer is increased from this side and 32 kilometer is decreased from this side. There is no overall increase or decrease. Okay, so net increase or decrease will be 0. Okay, so the conclusion from here is that if I keep my load, okay, so the conclusion is that if let us suppose this is our simply supported beam, so initially we kept our load, this is at P point, initially we kept the load at 40 kilonewton. Okay, now if I transfer this 40 kilonewton load at a distance of 1 meter, okay, and this 20 kilonewton will act at this point, again at distance of here 60 kilonewton, and at a distance of again 2 meter from here 30 kilonewton. Okay, if this is the load case, then also the maximum moment for this case for WMP will be 240 kilonewton meter. Okay, so the maximum it won't be the straight line. Okay, so maximum moment will be at this location will be 240 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so you can see that in this case there is no point load is acting at point P, but still we are getting the maximum value. This is the exception over here. Okay, because the net increase or decrease if we shift the load are balancing each other, so that's why it is constant. Okay, so we can say that if this, let us suppose if this load is 2 and this load is 3 and this load is 1 and this load is 4. Okay, so if second load, okay, if 2 and 3 load, if this load is 2 left of P and third load is right of P, then we will get 242 kilonewton value always, kilonewton meter value always. Okay, you can check at any other distance. Okay, you can move 0.5 meter from here. Okay, shift you apply 60 kilonewton at a 0.5 meter, still you will get the value of 240 kilonewton per meter. Okay, the reason it is why it is that is already being discussed in detail, right? So this is an important case, this is an exception over here where there is no point load acting, but still you are getting the maximum value of MP over here by this load combination. Okay, so this is why I discussed this problem. Okay, now one more thing I would like to discuss over here, because that thing we will use in our further topics, and it is a very important thing. Okay, now if I calculate this is A, this is P, this is B. If I calculate what is that my average load on the span AB? What is my average load on span AB? So average load on span AP will be equals to 30 plus 60 over में 6 meter, and which comes out to be, this is 90 by 6, it comes out to be 15 kilonewton per meter. Okay, for this load situation our average load on the span is nothing but 15 kilonewton meter. Okay, similarly average load on span PB will be nothing but it will be 40 plus 20 over 4, length of the span, which is PB, which is equals to 4. So it values comes out to be again 50 kilonewton per meter. Okay, for the maximum condition to achieve this thing we have already discussed when we applied a UDL where the span of the UDL is less than the span of the beam. Okay, for the maximum moment to generate at the P, the average load on both the span should be equal. Both the span, this P point divide this AB span into two parts. One is AP and other is PB. So this average load on this side should be equal to average load on this side. This is a condition we already derived, okay, for the UDL case. Okay, so this thing you can apply in point load also. The average load here as coming is equals to 50 kilonewton per meter. Okay, now this is okay. this is easy to calculate. Now what happened when the now someone can ask, when we applied point load at 40 kilonewton at point P, still this condition should hold. Okay, that average load on span AP should equals to the average load on span PB, right? We'll see now here. Again, we'll see over here. Now this is the condition. Now this is the condition over here. Okay, this is our point P. So this was our initial first load condition. This is 40 kilonewton. Right. This is here 20 kilonewton. Here it is 60. And here it is 30. Now we'll see. And this is A, B. Okay. Now we'll see this condition should hold. This condition should hold for this case also. Means average load on span AP should equals to the average load on span PB, because from this case also we are getting the maximum moment. Okay. If I calculate the what is the average load on span PB, span AP. Okay. So average load on span AP will be 60 plus 20, 60 plus 30. Length is 6 meter. And what should we do about this 40 kilonewton load? How it is distributed up among these span? Okay, so it's all upon us. Okay, we can divide this load in any arbitrary ratio. So to make that, to make this average load equal on both the spans. Okay, so as the load on the span, so I'm assuming over here is that 40 kilonewton load is just about to cross the span AP. This just about to cross point P. Okay. From that you can say that this P load is, this 40 kilonewton load is completely transferred on the beam on the span PB. Okay, so there is no I'm assuming that it is just about to cross, or you can say that it is just right to point P, just right to point P. Okay, so you can say that so at this span it will be again equals to 6 meter, and span PB it will again equals to 60 plus 4, 15. So here also it is coming 15 kilonewton meter. Okay, and if you calculate the average span on the whole beam, average load on the whole beam, it is nothing but 150 total load divided by 10. So it is again equals to 15 kilonewton per minute. This thing we have already derived. Okay, so this thing will also hold if you want to have maximum moment condition at point P. Okay, due to the concentrated load, right? So the main point is that if any load is acting at point P, it's upon us how much load we want to transfer to each portion. Okay, it can transfer in any arbitrary ratio. Let us suppose if that point is just at the left of point, just at the right of P, then no load is transferred to this portion. Okay, whole load is transferred to this span. When this load is just at the left of the point P, then whole load will be at this location only. Right? So this is the way to approach the problem over here, right? So I think I made my point clear. It's all upon us whether how much load we want to transfer over here, right? Which span? It depends upon, if load is acting at point P, it can transfer in any arbitrary ratio, right? This thing will happen at very minute micro level, so the result won't be affected. Okay, because just at the light of P, the coordinate value will be mostly similar to this thing. Okay, so this is the important thing which I want to discuss over, because this concept we will use in the solving the problems in the next lectures. Okay, so if you have any doubt regarding this problem, you can write in the comment section, guys. So we'll meet you in the next lecture. Thank you very much.